Okay. What about Sumaya, Lena, and Snehal? Are they joining?
Sir, Sumaya join Anangil sir or mother Yaranilla hostel answer or
Okay, okay. Snehal and Lena?
they will join sir.
Okay. Then we'll start the class. Okay. So I want to cover a bit more today. Okay. So all of you are able to see the screen.
Yes sir.
Okay, fine. Now, good morning, friends. Today, let us have a discussion of database system environment. Okay, a database management system is a complex software system. It's a complex software system. Today, we're going to discuss about that the types of software components which constitutes database management system and types of computer system softwares with which database management system interacts. Means various components which makes the database management system, what are the different database utilities, system utilities, then which are different tools, application environment and communication facilities. Okay, all these things together it forms a database management system. See here now, it forms all these things, various modules, database system utilities, tools, application environments and communication facilities. Okay, all these things forms a database management system. It is a complex software. It is a database management system is a complex software system. We'll have a discussion on this today. What it? Now, first I'll go to discuss in detail about the database management system component modules. Okay, database management system component modules. Then we'll spend 2 minutes for database system utilities and 2 minutes for database application environment and communication facilities. Most of the time, okay, in today's class I took most of the time for a first thing, a database management systems component modules. Okay, see here now, this is the database management component modules. This figure is divided into two parts. Let me show you where is that part. Okay, this system or this entire database management system component modules are divided into two parts. One is this, upper part and bottom part, top and below. The entire figure is divided into two parts. The top part of the figure refers to the various users. See here now, this at the top part of the figure, okay, represents various users of the database management system. Various users of the database management system. Who are those various users? One is DBA, database administrator staff, casual users, application programmers and parametric users. DBA, casual users, application programmers and parametric users. In detail, we have studied about these things in various users of the database management system. Database management system. Now, the top part is explaining about that entire figure. The components of the module is divided into two parts. Top part is giving the explanation about the various users of the database management system and their interfaces and their environment and their interfaces. Already we know that which are different types of interfaces: menu based, web browser, etc., etc. Got it? Then lower part, top part, and this is the lower part. This is a lower part. This lower part of the figure shows the internal modules, of the database management system, which is responsible for storage of the data and processing for the transactions. Here in this part, which are the main components for storage purpose and making the transactions. This below part is for the sake of storage and the transactions, and the upper part is for various users and their interfaces. What are those? Top part is for what? Any one of you?
Users, sir. Various types of users.
Various users and their modules, environment and their interfaces. The below part or lower part of this figure, component modules, is related to what? Internal modules of the database management system. Internal means which are responsible for storage, of the data and processing of the data. Processing means you can store it, you can modify it, you can retrieve it. This is what a below figure is responsible for it. Hence, this entire diagram is divided into two parts, top part and lower part. Top part which explains the various users and their environment, okay, and interfaces for the respective users, and below part which shows the internal part of the database management system, which is responsible for storage, and transactions. Hope it is clear. The entire how we divided the entire thing into two parts. Clear? Understood, all of you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the database and the database management system catalog, the database and the database management system catalog are usually stored on the disk. See here now, this part I am explaining. Let me choose a different color. Now, this system catalog and what is that? Database and database management system catalog. These things are stored on the disk. Okay, where these things are stored? The database, this, where it is, yes, this a stored database and system catalogs or a data dictionaries, these two are stored on the disk. Okay, when we store these things on the disk, hence it is under the control of operating system. Hence, it is under the control of operating system. What are those controlling? Controlling means what? Accessing to the disk. If you want to store, or if you want to retrieve, or if you want to modify anything, it is under the control of operating system. So, which schedules the disk read and write? Hope probably you have studied this thing in operating system. Got it? So, this system catalogs and the data stored database, these two things are stored in the disk. When it is stored in the disk, and disks are under the control of operating system, so that operating system makes a scheduling for accessing or read write of the disk. Is it clear now? Okay, then let us consider top part of the figure now. Just now I have explained what are there in the top part and what are there in the lower part, and where these system catalog and stored databases are there in the system. Okay, these two things are there in the internal, disk, and these disks are under the control of operating system. Now let me complete the upper part of the component modules. Upper part of the component modules, where database users are there and their environment and interfaces. We are going to discuss about this. Now let us consider the top part of the figure. It shows the interface for the DBA staff. In this, let me take each of these things separately. Okay, so this top part will be having a interfaces for the DBA staff. Who is DBA? Database administrator. Okay, he is the main thing. He is the responsible person. Okay, he takes care of the entire database. He will take care of the if crashes happen. Okay, he will authorize, he will give the authorization. Okay, and many more things. His functionalities he is responsible for. Got it? So it shows the interfaces for the DBA staff. These are the interfaces for DBA staff. Privileged commands, DDL commands. DDL means data definition language. What is that data definition language? So where you can create the databases. Got it? And privileged commands. These are the interfaces for the DBA staff. And these can be formulated into queries. Okay, so DBA staff, casual users. Okay, casual users, this is interactive queries. See, once in a while you are going to open this thing and you will search for that, and you modify or you want to insert whatever, you can do it through that interactive queries. Got it? So interactive queries and formulative queries, application programmers, various. These application programmers who create programs using some host programming language. Okay, see, application programmers, they interact with the database management by writing the programs in their own language. Own language in the sense C, C++, Java, etc. On those languages. Got it? So application programmers who create the programs using some host languages, host programming languages, and parametric end users. Parametric end users who do data entry work, as I told, the reservation counters, a banking people, bank tellers. What do? Just they need to pass the parameters. How they pass the parameters? Whenever you go for the reservation purpose, they will ask your name. Yes, you will going to tell your name and they will enter your name. It is one of the parameter. Then they will ask gender, whether you are a man or woman. Okay, so it will this male or female. Then it will ask for the age. Then you will going to give the information. They will enter into that. They are entering these information as a parameters, and they pass it through this thing. So hence parametric end users who do data entry work by supplying the parameters to the predefined transactions. Already those things are there, fields are there, just you need to enter some values for those things. Nothing you will going to do it. Only that thing can be done, and after that you need to submit it. This is what you are responsible for. Who's that? Parametric end users. Who? These various users and their thing we have discussed. DDL statements and privileged commands are the interfaces for the DBA staff. Interactive query, through that interactive query, it is an interface for the casual end users. Application programmers who write their own program for doing the transactions, it is their interface. And parametric end users, just they pass the parameters, for the transactions, to do transactions. Now the DBA staff works on defining the database and tuning it by making changes to the definition using the DDL and other privileged commands. See here now, if you want to create the database, if you want to create the table with the help of DDL statements like create a table name, these are creating a table, selecting the table, describing the table, or you want to modify the tables. So there are some statements. With the help of these statements, you will going to do all those things. These are the commands. Which command? For creating which command you are using? Create a table command. Modify. You can delete, you can drop, you can do so many things. For these we are using DDL commands, DDL statements. Once you write those DDL statements, you pass those DDL statements to the compiler. Which compiler? DDL compiler. Okay, every programming language requires compilers. Why do we need a compilers? It will go to check whether the statement which you passed are right or wrong. That compiler will going to check it. Okay, for that DDL statements we have a DDL compilers. We have a DDL compilers. Just me take a different color. We have a DDL compiler. We have DDL compiler, which are used to compile the DDL statements. DDL compiler process the schema definition. Whenever in DDL statements you give the schema definitions, in schema definitions are processed, specified in the DDL language, data definition language, and stores the descriptions of the schemas in the metadata. If those statements are correct, when you create the table, when you execute it, okay, if it is correct, then that schema is stored in where? A metadata. Where it is stored? It is stored in the metadata of the database management system. Is it clear now? This part? This part.
Yes, sir.
Okay. DBA, who is having the interface as the DDL statements. Through this DDL statements, he can write the queries or create the tables or delete the tables, whatever the data definition language, okay, those respective statements, and he will pass it to the DDL compiler. Then DDL compiler will check for the syntax, okay, if it is correct, and that schema will be stored in the metadata. That will be stored in the metadata. Got it? That this storage, whatever the schema you have created with the help of DDL language statements, so it will be having the information such as the names of the table, the size of the file, name and data types of the items, means name and data types of the attributes, column names, storage details of each file, which are the files you are storing, all those storage files formats, and mapping among the schemas. In the previous class we discussed about the mapping, when we created the tables and we mapped with each of the schemas. Okay, mapping is done, and various constraints, which are the primary keys, which are the foreign keys, which are not null constraints. There are so many constraints, and those constraints are all the information related to definitions are stored in this metadata. Is it clear now? We have not stored any of the values, just we have stored the definition or schemas along with constraints, data types, and field names and table names, etc., and size of the files, etc. Is it clear now? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, see here now. This is just now we completed this part. Okay, DBA, he will write the where it is. He will write the DDL statements. Okay, once he write the DDL statements, those things are given to DDL compiler. DDL compiler, and this DDL compiler will check, and if that is correct, and the schema is stored in where? A catalog. It is called metadata of the database management system. This part is over. Got it? So how these people are interacting with the catalogs? Interacting with the catalogs. Now, see, it can be a DBA stuff through a privileged commands or this DDL statements. Now we look into casual users. These casual users and the persons with the casual needs, occasional needs. These casual users are the interacting with the database management system once in a while. Hence, they interact with the database management system or database occasionally. They need a information from the database, interacting using with the interactive query interface. How do they? This, where it is, cursor. These casual users interacting with the database with the help of interactive queries. These queries are compiled. These queries are compiled with the help of query compiler and compiler for correctness of the syntax. What this compiler will do? This compiler will check for the correctness of the syntax. If that syntax is correct, then it will proceed for the next thing. If the syntax is wrong, okay, if the syntax is wrong, then again you will get the error. You will get the error. Got it? So queries are passed. So those are compiled for checking the correctness of the syntax. The name of the files and data elements and so on by query compiler that compiles them into internal form. So these things are internally this query compiler will going to compile it. Got it? Now next is a query optimizer. We have a query optimizer. This query optimizer is concerned with the rearrangement. See here now. We have a query optimizer here. Now once it is correct, compiled thing is correct, and it will be interacting with, it will be passed to query optimizer. What this query optimizer will do? It will rearrange them. It will rearrangement of the things will be carried out, and possible reordering of the operations. Which operation should be done first and which operation should be done last, which operation should be carried out. Like this, it will going to perform rearrangement, reordering of the operations, elimination of the redundancies. If the same thing is asked multiple times, that will be reduced. It will send it only one time. Got it? So what are those? Reordering, rearrangement, and elimination of redundancies, and use efficient search algorithm for during the execution. It will use query optimizer will execute will also execute a fast retrieval or fast storage purpose. It uses some algorithms. See here now. In the previous semester, we studied about various algorithms, sorting, searching algorithms. For sorting also, we have studied 4-5 algorithms: merge sort, bubble sort, okay, then insertion sort, index sort, etc. So these sorting algorithms, so it will apply any one of them which can be done first, which can do accessing fast, which can store fast, and which can sort fast. Because we are doing a sorting, we are doing rearrangement, we are doing deletion of the duplicate queries, means redundancies, and applying a search algorithms for fast retrievals. It consults, this query optimizer consults catalog for statistical and other physical information about the stored data. What this will do, whenever you ask for something, okay, then it will consult with this catalog or a metadata. As I told, whenever you ask for the date of birth of a student which is not there or which is there, whenever you ask for the date of birth, then it will query optimizer, it will first interact with what? Catalog, and it will search for that whether in the student database date of birth field is there or not. If it is there, again it will interacting with back query optimizer saying that it is exist. If it is not there, then it will tell that it is not there. Then again it will come back. You will get the information. So that field is not there. If it is there, then it will again, see here now. Where is that? Cursor point is very small, because of that I am not able to see it where it is located, that cursor, small cursor. Okay, yeah, here it is in the black part. Now I got it. Okay, so again it will send a information back. So it consults with the system catalog for statistical and other physical information, means how many datas are there. Okay, then how whether that field is there or not. Okay, to access that, and it generates the executable code, and this query optimizer executes the executable code that performs the necessary operation, which performs necessary operation for query and makes the calls on the runtime processor. Means once it is, overall thing is whether if that field is exist, okay, it will get the information from the catalog, and once it says yes, give the green signal, and again it will go for further things. It will interact with the runtime database, so that this runtime database will interact with the stored database. Runtime processor, it will run it and it will interact with the stored database. Is it clear now how the casual end users interact with the stored database? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, next one is application programmers. Let me choose. Just a minute. I'm checking whether that. Okay, now we look into application programmers. You all know some of the programs like a C program. Now you are studying Java program and other programming languages, C++, etc. Once you write the program, what you will going to do? The users will going to write the programs for extracting the information which is stored in the database, or storing some information into the stored database. For that, they will go to these users, application programmers, they will go to write the programs. They will go to write the programs. It is the application program, it will be the interface for them. Will be the interface for them. Once they write the program with the help of this interface, application programs, once they write their program, they need to compile them. Free compiler that are submitted to free compiler. This pre-compiler extract the data manipulation language commands. What it will do? So because we want to store some values into the database, or we want to extract some values into the database, or we want to modify some values into the database, these are all comes under what? DML, data manipulation language. Okay, so this pre-compiler will segregate or extract these commands, these type of commands, not your C related or this other commands, other statements like not declaration, semicolon, missing semicolon, such kind of things will be compiled by host language. say, assume that you have written the program, this application program with the help of C language. Okay, here it will be C compiler will be there. Here this will extract, this pre-compiler will segregate your C language statements and data manipulation language statements. These two will be segregated, and DML commands will be sent to DML compilers. DML commands will be sent to DML compilers, and C language or the host language commands will be, statements will be sent to this host compilers. Here it can be a C compiler or C++ compiler or C Java compiler, whatever, which programming language you used. Okay, those compilers will, those statements will come to this and compile those statements, and this DML compiler will compile the DML statements. So this, what is the work of this pre-compiler? Pre-compiler will segregate those two. It will extract all the DML statements and send it to DML compiler, and rest of the statements are sent it to host language. Host language. These commands sent to the DML compilers, these DML statements which are compiled in a DML compiler into objects code for the database access. These things will be used it for this what is that, database storage purpose. So first what it will do, it will interact with again this catalog. Before doing further things, it will interact with the DML compiler, is interacting with this system catalog for the whether that field is there or not, whether that value is there or not, how many records are there, etc. All those things, information can be extracted or come to know. Once it is there, then once it gives the green signal, then what happens? It will send the things to where this compiled transactions. There these DML compilers and those host language compilers are combined. Got it? These commands the what is that? All these things, compiled transactions, this host language as well as DML compilers, compiled transactions. For this, parametric end users also. Who are those parametric end users? Who passes the parameters? These, there is no need of compilation there, because already program is compiled. Just you need to pass the, only running of the program is required. Just you need to see here now. You have written the program, okay, for adding two numbers. First, you will going to compile that program. If that compilation is successful, then you will go for running the program or executing that program. Once you are executing the program, starting the program for execution, so it will ask for enter the first number. So you will going to enter 10. 10 is a parameter. Just I am passing first parameter. Then it will ask for the enter second number. Then again you will going to enter one more number. That is another parameter. For that, compilation is not required. Just directly you need to execute it. Directly you need to execute it. Hence, directly these parametric users pass the parameters. They don't require any compilers. Directly these compiled transactions are interacting with this DBA commands, queries and transactions. Okay, this knet transactions or this parametric this thing, these users simply supply the parameters to the transactions. Each transactions is considered to be a separate transactions. If we pass first parameter name, then your age, then your this is all one transaction. Got it? Like this. So next we have a runtime database processor. See here now, after the casual users or privileged commands, then where it is. Now from here application programs, DML compiler is also interacting with this. See, like this, it is also interacting with this DB runtime database processor. This privileged commands are also wants to interact with the runtime database processor, and this query optimizer is also interacting with this. All the things wants to interact with the runtime database processor. What this runtime database processor will do? This will do three things. First one, it executes the privileged commands. What it will do? This runtime database processor, it will execute these privileged commands. It will execute these privileged commands. Secondly, it executes the executable query plans. It will execute the query plans. It will execute query plans means optimizers. This optimized, where it is, see, then it will going to execute these planned queries. Okay. Why it is still, see, okay, first it will execute privileged commands. The second, it will execute executable query plans, those from the query optimizer. Third, what it will do? It will executes the canned transactions with runtime parameters. Third, it will executes from this compiled transactions. It will executes these compiled transactions. First, from this, second from the query optimizer, and third from the compiled transactions, which in turn uses the basic operating system services for carrying a low input or whatever, because it is, what is that, just a minute, because see here now, as I told, a below part, lower part of this figure, which is having the information of the stored database as well as the system catalog. Okay, where these things are stored, it is stored in the internal disk. Okay, once it is there in the internal disk, then it is under the control of operating system. So runtime database processor will interacting with the operating system. Okay, then one more thing we are having, that is a concurrency control and backup recovery. Concurrency control and backup recovery, where it is here. Okay, backup recovery systems. they are integrated into the working of the runtime database, okay, processor for the purpose of transactions management. So if at all something happened to the system, the backup will be taken. It will take care of the safety purpose, okay. It will keep on backup the things, and it will be acts as a safeguard for our database, okay. So all these things are the information related to this. We discussed stored database manager will be, he will be taking care of entire thing, how it is interacting. This stored database manager, it will be interacting with this database, okay, for runtime and this stored data. So this is what, how these database management system component modules are interconnected. So this is the component modules of the database management system and their interactions. Is there any doubt over here?
No, sir.
If you are
No,
having
sir.
any doubts, please ask. Snail, is there any doubt?
No, sir.
No. Sujit,
No, sir.
Soumya,
No, sir.
good. Lena,
No, sir.
okay. Ria,
No, sir.
Ria, do you have doubt?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Hope all the parts, each and every component of this we discussed in detail. Okay. So hope you understood how exactly this will going to, all the component modules are interconnected and how these things will going to work. Each user will get the interacting with a stored database. Hope the things are clear. Okay. Now what's time now? 24. Another 12 minutes. Just in 12 minutes we will going to complete remaining 2 slides are there. Okay. A database system utilities and other tools and application environments. Okay, let me complete this. Database system utilities. Just a minute. Yeah. Database system utilities. It is also one of the part of this database system environment. Database system utilities. Just now we completed the first part. Now we are discussing about the system utilities. So here, what are those utilities? First one is loading, backup, database storage recognition and performance monitoring. Okay, see which are those? Loading, backup, database storage recognition and performance monitoring. Already you all know. Okay, already you all know that. What is loading? A loading utility is used to load existing data files, such as it could be a text file or sequential files, into a database. Whatever the files are there, those files will be loaded into database. For that purpose we are using this loading utility. Loading utility is used for loading the data files into database. Next one is backup. This backup utility creates the backup copy of the database. Okay, so for safety purpose we are using this backup utility. So it will take a copy of that backup of the database, usually by dumping the entire database onto the tape or other mass storage medium. So what it will do? It will dump all the information, copy of the database which is existing, okay, into the some mass storage device. What it will going to do? So whenever you have created the things, or whenever you are having a large amount of photos of you people, how do you take? Okay, for the sake of safety purpose, or you want to backup it, so you store those things into some external hard disk or in your computer somewhere. You take a copy of that, or whenever you do the seminars or you do some other projects, what you will going to do? Some copy will be there in some disk, and some copy it will be attached to your mail, and somewhere it will keep it in the pen drives. Why? Because for the backup purpose. If something happened to one copy, so another copy will be there as a backup. Got it? So backup is another utility. Third one is database storage reorganization. Why we need to reorganize? Because in data structure we have studied. Okay, we want to reorganize the things. This utility is used to reorganize a set of database files into different file organization. Either you can go for stack, or you can go for queue, or you can go for linked list, or you can go for other things. Okay, so for the sake of fast retrieval, or storage should be fast, okay, based on your requirements, okay, you will going to create a access path to improve your performance. What is that performance? Means within no time, within less time, we should interact with the database. Means you can store it, you can access it, or you can modify it, whatever the things you can do it. Got it? For that purpose, we are having the utility called database storage reorganization. This is a third utility. And fourth utility, performance monitoring. Fourth utility is performance monitoring. So such a utility monitors the database usage and provides the statistics to the DBA. Means your database, how much it is full, how many datas are there, okay, how much data is you can keep, okay, still how much of information you need to delete, whatever. So statistical information related to that, okay, database storage, that kind of information can be given to DBA. Who is DBA? Database administrator. He can monitor the performance, how it is performing. If at all, if it is full, or if it is slower, then that information is also given to DBA. So these are all four utilities, database system utilities, which are those: loading, backups, data storage, reorganization, and performance monitoring. These are the four utilities of the database system. Hope you understood. See here now, these things are also required for your database management system. We need, database management system. If you want this complete thing, you need these component modules, and you need this database system utilities: loading, backup, database storage, reorganization, and performance monitoring. These utilities also are part of the database management system. Now, last one is tools. You need a tools, application environment, and communication facilities. You need, if you want a complete database management system, these are also required. These are also required. So, which are those? Tools, application environments, and data and communication facilities. Which are those tools? Data dictionary. It is a tool for a repository, data repository system. You need a data dictionary. I'll not going to discuss much about the data dictionary. Already you know it. Okay, we discussed. Okay, about the data metadata. Okay, data catalog. Just now in previous slides also we discussed. Got it? The second one is application development environment. This system provides an environment. This system, database management system, provides an environment for developing database applications and includes the facilities that help in many facets of the database system. Includes database design. This application development, this thing, it will design database design. GUI development means graphical user interface development, querying, updating, and application program development. So related, which are all the database softwares or application programs which interact with the database, those programs can also be developed. Clear? So these are all this environment should be there. And next one is, which facility you required? Communication facility is required. These communication softwares whose function is to allow the users to users at a locations remote from the database system site to access the database through computer terminals, workstations, or personal computers. See here now, you are having the database now. That database is somewhere. Either it can be there in the college database, or best example I will take, a university database. That university database, you sitting in your home, you are accessing the information of the universities. You are accessing the information of the university database. Got it? You are filling the examination form. Okay, you are filling your other forms. Okay, you are accessing your results. Got it? You are doing so many things. How do you do it? Because of this communication. Because of this communication facility. These are canned transactions. These are connected to the database sites through the data communication hardware and interrouters, phones, lines, long interval, etc. With these communication devices, we are having, usually we are doing with the help of internet connections. Okay, with these connections, some of you are accessing the information through your mobiles, some of you are doing with the computers. Okay, some of you are doing with other things. Got it? These are all communication devices which are got connected to those databases, those servers. Got it? Many commercial database systems have communication packages that work with the database management system. There are so many commercial communication packages which are working with the database management system. This is all about the communication softwares and tools, application environments and communication facilities which are also required to execute or for the complete database management system. Okay, so we discussed this database system environment. For this, we required database management system component modules, system utilities, and tools, application environments, and communication facilities. Okay, these are all the things forms a database system environment. If something is, any one of them is also missed, then will not going to form a complete database system environment. Clear? Hope you understood a entire thing. Got it? So let us stop this class here only.